Ice Spice. She's a rapper from the Bronx and the talk of the internet for the past few weeks. A quick search of her name on this platform and it's not hard to find reaction videos of her breakout single Munch. It's her steady flow, unique slang, and use of EDM with drill that have all been huge assets to help her personality shine and captivate the hip-hop community. It's not hard to find grown men being sassy when they hear,
"You thought I was feeling you? That nigga a munch."
Since the release of Munch, she now averages over 600,000 monthly listeners on Spotify alone at the time in which I'm recording this video. For a new artist, that's a healthy number. And maybe one day this channel can get somewhere close to those numbers. You know, I just need you guys to hit the like button on this video, then subscribe and turn on all notifications if you're new here. Nothing too crazy. Seriously though, her quick rise to fame has garnered her a co-sign from one of the world's biggest artists, and I'm talking about Wheelchair Jimmy. Drake co-signed her on Instagram, and then she was flued out via a private jet. And because the internet is full of miserable folks who couldn't just be happy she made it out of the Bronx, tons of videos and comments started to surface accusing her of being an industry plant here to ruin the game instead of an authentic artist who got it out of the mud. If you're unfamiliar with the term industry plant, in my opinion, it's a term overused by high school kids from the suburbs who run hip-hop commentary channels on YouTube. Well, technically, the actual definition of industry plant, according to UrbanDictionary.com, is an industry plant is an artist who has a major or industry label backing their movement, but presents themselves as a homegrown startup label to create a pseudo-organic following. They act as if things are miraculously happening for them based off of their talent via blog coverage, media coverage, MTV playing their music videos, etc. The reality is, though, that this is a low-risk, high-reward situation for labels looking to build their next star. And the example they used is Justin Bieber is an industry plant. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that statement. I'm just going off of what Urban Dictionary says. I'm pretty sure Justin Bieber blew up singing covers of songs on the streets of Canada and then was discovered via going viral. I mean, it's pretty well documented on YouTube. But hey, I guess if you don't like someone's music, it's easier to just accuse them of being an industry plant instead of using critical thinking and research. But back to Ice Spice. The stage name is terrible, but that hasn't stopped her rise. With all these accusations of being an industry plant, I had to do some research. After watching a couple of videos, one of the main talking points I hear from these commentators is how she hasn't been rapping for a long time, and she admits this in an interview with On the Radar Radio.
The first song I ever recorded was Bully last March, and I put that out. But I started basically with my producer. We met, and like, I just loved his beats.
So you started rapping last year? Mm-hmm. Wow.
My counter argument to that is her quick upward trajectory is not substantial evidence of her being an industry plant. Forget this rap stuff. This is just a general life lesson I'm about to share. Everyone does not walk the same path. Just because you've been struggling to accomplish something in the last 10 years doesn't mean the next person will. Some things just come faster to others. We're all gifted different strengths and weaknesses. Life isn't fair, and to be honest, you're gonna drive yourself crazy thinking it should be. Comparison is the thief of joy. I repeat, comparison is the thief of joy. Also, another counter to that argument is that in the past year, she's dropped several songs, none of which got any attention. If you search Ice Spice now, all of her songs' views are up, but that's because of the success of Munch. Now people are seeking her back catalog. She recently went viral, matter of fact, on TikTok because so many people are clowning her for her bar from her song No Clarity, in which she claims her and her ex are from the Bronx, so she knows that he's dirty.
Like, yo, on behalf of the Bronx, we do not claim this line right here. This line is false, okay? We don't claim this line right here. We both from the Bronx, so we know that you dirty. Like, what the fuck?
It's easy to claim someone was an overnight success when you weren't paying them any mind before they became popular. None of her other songs made serious noise in the past year before Munch dropped. Her song No Clarity, it has almost 1 million views at the time in which I'm recording this. But if we use the Internet Archive to go back to the same video on November 6, 2021, it didn't even have 100,000 views. It's safe to say that Munch was a catchy breakout single that caused a snowball effect. The second argument I've seen as a reasoning to why she's an industry plant is because she's mentioned in an interview that her dad was an underground rapper during his youth. People have taken this statement and they've ran with it like Wally West. Here's the problem though. Underground rapper is such a broad term. Are we talking like UGK in the early 2000s when they were so popping in the underground that they managed to eventually cross over? Or are we talking like Sky Zoo where if you're not a hardcore rap fan, you have no clue who that is? I've done a lot of research for this video and I can't find an answer to who this person is. And I'm not the only one looking for that answer because there's an entire Reddit thread dedicated to this topic, but the dude who asked was basically told he's a weirdo and he needs to shut up. So the only thing I got out of my research was a good laugh. So what's the solution? I decided to put on my tinfoil hat to speculate on who's Ice Spice's dad, and if I had to guess, my guess would be no other than the legendary Peter Gunz. Just hear me out. Ice Spice is Dominican. Peter Gunz looks Dominican. Ice Spice is from the Bronx. Peter Gunz is from the Bronx. And they just so happen to be the same complexion. And if you've ever seen Love and Hip Hop, you know Peter Gunz is always on demon time. That man shamelessly cheated on both his baby mamas on a television show for millions to see. If he doesn't care millions saw that, I know he was getting around in the Bronx before he was ever on that show. Now, some might argue he's not an underground artist because he crossed over with his hit single Deja Vu featuring Lord Tariq, but that's the only song he's ever had pop, and that was back in the 90s. He's more famous for being a serial cheater and Corey Gunn's dad more than anything else, so I'd still say he's underground. Now, do I actually believe Peter Gunz is Ice Spice's dad? No. I just wanted to get off some jokes. It never hurts to remind the world that Peter Gunz's name is Peter Gunz because he's out here shooting up a lot of ladies' clubs, if you catch my drift. So, I guess we'll bring it back to Ice Spice. Is she an industry plant? There's no way for me to 100% know, but based off of my research, I'm gonna say probably not. I mean, I get it. She's only been rapping for a year. There's no real full-length project. She's only released like 6 songs, yet she's getting cosigns from Drake and placements on major Spotify playlists. To that, I'd say I don't think any of this is that deep. There's 3 reasons why I think she's popped off. The first being is she's not terrible. She's not my cup of tea, but the bar is so low for rap nowadays that if you stay on beat and say something halfway clever or catchy, you're gonna go thanks to the power of the internet and meme culture. Reason number 2, there's not a lot of competition. Yeah, there's more female rappers than ever, but most don't pop to that next level for whatever reason. When you're a big fish in a small pond, it's easy to stand out. Reason number 3, and this one ties into reason number 2. She looked good. Pretty privilege is a real thing, folks. There's been so many studies done on this. When you're a good-looking man or woman, you're treated better. How many times have you heard about a gorgeous woman getting out of a traffic ticket when she starts batting them eyelashes? Oh, please, Mr. Officer, I didn't know I couldn't go 100 in the 35. It goes back to what I mentioned earlier about life not being fair. Some people have won the genetic lottery. It is what it is. Ice Spice is a pretty girl with a fat...
I didn't say nothing.
When you're good looking, doors open, and you can't blame people for running through them, nor can you blame men for being shallow. It's mainly women that I see supporting the music, if we want to be honest. Subconsciously, we all know that we prefer our entertainment from someone who's easy on the eyes. The thing is though, looks will just get you in the door. Yeah, Beyonce is gorgeous, but you can't take away from the work that she's put in. Longevity isn't guaranteed in entertainment, or anything for that matter. You have to constantly reinvent yourself to go on a long run. Truthfully, I think Ice Spice is just a viral moment. I don't get why people are so upset. I don't see anything creative enough from her that says she's going to stand the test of time. Rappers come and go every year. Yeah, she's the hot topic right now, but the reality is most of her songs are not even 2 minutes long, which is just pathetic if we're being honest. So the data suggests she's not even creative enough to put together a full-length project. And once again, I could be wrong, but I just don't see her standing the test of time unless she gets some ghostwriters. But who knows? Only time will tell. If I'm wrong, I'm never afraid to admit it. But what I do know is that everything is not that deep. Y'all are so quick to put a conspiracy behind everything. Industry plant this, industry plant that. Some things are not that deep, and you've allowed your bias to cloud your better judgment. Because the reality is, we all know the real reason Drake flew her out, and it ain't got nothing to do with her music. It's because of that.
Golly.
But hey, I'm just saying.